following special is brought to you in living color on NBC. Wait a minute. You're not the NBC Peacock.
Hello, divers, coming to you from Studio D. This is the Deep Dive Microcast, a brief look into things I find interesting. And I hope you do too. I'm Tom Feeney, raconteur, condiment tester, and writer for Wings Chop Movie Magazine. If you are part of Generation X, like myself, you probably have wistful memories of being plopped in front of the television every Saturday morning, watching a colorful, cacophonous barrage of children's programming.
Listen, Doc, there's nothing like a little Saturday morning TV to get you off to a good start. First, hey, look, it's the Bugs Bunny Show. Then, Yogi's Gang. Super Friends. Lassie's Rescue Rangers. Goober and the Ghost Chasers. Mission Magic. Saturday mornings on ABC. Watch them all, Doc.
Beginning in earnest in the late 1960s, the three major TV networks made sure that sugar-fueled youngsters had something to gawk at while munching on Captain Crunch, Frosted Flakes, or, if your parents were particularly cruel, Cheerios. Television executives quickly learned that they had themselves a captive and massive audience every Saturday morning. This made advertisers very happy. The 1970s brought a glut of shows, typically made on the cheap, aimed at impressionable youngsters. Of course, these mostly consisted of cartoons. There were some great ones, like Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?, Star Trek the Animated Series, and Schoolhouse Rock. And there were some truly awful and quite baffling ones as well.
Built from the world's finest electronic parts, designed to be the world's most perfect electronic robots, the Robotic Stooges!
Yeah, the less we talk about the three Robotic Stooges, the better. But it wasn't all about the animation. There were quite a few live-action programs that made the Saturday morning lineups during the Me decade. Superhero shows like Shazam and its spin-off ISIS were popular, as were sci-fi entries like Space Academy and that show's spin-off, Jason of Star Command. But perhaps the most prolific creators of live-action kiddie content were Sid and Marty Krofft. The brothers were responsible for iconic shows like H.R. Pufnstuf, Sigmund and the Sea Monsters, The Bugaloos, Far Out Space Nuts, and the topic of today's episode.
Marshall, Will, and Holly on a routine expedition met the greatest earthquake ever known. High on the rapids, it struck their tiny raft and plunged them down 1,000 feet below to the land of the lost.
Come on, get out of here! Come on! Will! Come on, Holly, let's go!
To the land of the lost.
Land of the Lost premiered on the NBC television network Saturday, September 7th, 1974. A few days prior, NBC aired a primetime special previewing their 1974 Saturday morning lineup. The program was hosted by forgotten Osmond brother Jimmy and an anthropomorphized NBC peacock named Petey. The preview included shows like Run, Joe, Run, which was Basically a variation on The Fugitive if the fugitive were a German shepherd accused of a crime he didn't commit. No, seriously.
Joe on the run, wanted for something he didn't do. And a bounty hunter closes in.
Trained him pretty good. That wanted poster says he's dangerous.
That's why I'm after him, Sheriff. To prove he's not that kind of a dog.
Maybe too late. Jasper will bring him in. No guarantee what condition. I got you now! Are you crazy? I could have got that dog!
He just happens to be my dog, mister. And I could have got him. So hands off.
Forget it, Jasper.
I don't care about the money no more. Now I want him.
Yes, but I'm afraid.
He'll be all right, Matty. He'll be all right. That wanted poster says to try to bring him in live.
I'm only saying if it gets to be that dog or me, I got no early funeral plan.
And also featured in that Saturday morning preview special was a sneak peek of Land of the Lost.
A world stopped in time, and the Marshall family struggles to survive.
I keep on wishing this was a dream.
If there's a way in here, there's got to be a way out of here.
Little one has fallen. He's hurt himself.
Come on, easy. Okay, I got it. Come on, hurry.
Will? Holly.
Vera? Ari. Hey. Chaka.
Hey, look. Humans.
Paku.
He's not a caveman at all. He's a Paku.
If you are unfamiliar with the premise of Land of the Lost, here's a short primer. 3 members of the Marshall family, Dad Rick and teen kids Will and Holly, are caught in an earthquake while on a camping trip. They fall through some dimensional portal and find themselves in what appears to be at first prehistoric Earth, dinosaurs included. It soon becomes apparent, however, that they are not on Earth at all. Now, as you heard in the earlier clip, the unknown place where they have arrived is the home of a primate-like species calling themselves Pakuni. The little one, named Chaka, befriends the Marshalls. However, there are some decidedly unfriendly beings that also live in that strange place. The Sleestack. These tall, green, scaly, bug-eyed bipeds who live in the ruins of an ancient city. They are somewhat more advanced than the Pakuni, but not by much. They speak with a strange hissing sound, they carry bows and arrows, and they don't like humans. Now, Land of the Lost could have been just another goofy Saturday morning kids sci-fi show like the aforementioned Far Out Space Nuts or the Lost Saucer with television legends Jim Nabors and Ruth Buzzy, but it aimed higher. A lot higher. At least at first. You see, several notable science fiction writers were tapped to write scripts for the show. Aside from the imminent need to survive in the face of constant danger, the Marshall family had to deal with time travel, other dimensions, alien technology, mind control, and, in the show's 3rd and final season, the loss of family patriarch Rick Marshall. Spoiler alert, he doesn't die. The actor wanted more money and thus was replaced by Uncle Jack.
Will and Harley Marshall, as the earth beneath them trembled, lost their father through the door of time. Uncle Jack went searching and found the kids alive.
It was explained that Jack was searching for his brother when he and Rick swapped places somehow. So, at least Rick made it home. As for the others, well, the show was canceled in 1976 after 43 episodes and no real series finale. So, we may never know if the Marshall family ever returned from the land of the lost. The show remained a staple of kids' television through reruns and syndication for another decade and was actually run on the Sci-Fi Channel in the 1990s. These days, Land of the Lost can be seen on streaming services including Tubi and the Roku channel for free, or it's rentable on Amazon Prime, Vudu, and Apple TV. In 1991, a remake of Land of the Lost premiered on the ABC network. Different family, same situation, but this one had more sorcery, cyborgs, and fish people. It lasted 2 seasons. We now time travel to the 2000s, where poorly conceived theatrical remakes of TV shows were all over movie screens like a skin rash. You had Starsky and Hutch, The Honeymooners, Dukes of Hazzard, Get Smart, and Bewitched. The latter, by the way, starred Will Ferrell and was a box office bomb. Now, you'd think a smart fellow like Will would have learned his lesson, but no.
We must be the only people to ever set foot in this world.
Did we go back in time and space?
That blows.
We drew the attention of a highly intelligent psycho dinosaur.
Personally, I think he has it out for you. He's got a brain the size of a walnut. Gross.
I will follow you into battle anytime.
How about now?
Honestly, I didn't really expect you to call the favor in this soon. Anytime after now.
Land of the Lost, rated PG-13.
The 2009 feature film version of Land of the Lost was both a critical and box office disappointment. With good reason. The film had very little in common with the 70s series and went entirely for broad comedy over any real sense of adventure or danger. But in the quarter century since, there have been rumors, discussions of rumors about another remake, reboot, or reimagining. But nothing set in stone. In this age of streaming services, it's a shame that no one can seem to bring to life the strange and unusual time-warping madness that was Land of the Lost.
When I look all around, I can't believe the things I found. Now I need to find my way. I'm lost, find me. Living in the land of the lost. Living in the land of the lost.
Thanks for listening. If this is the first time you've heard this podcast, check out our past episodes available on almost all podcast providers and subscribe so you don't miss a single one. If you like what you hear, write a review. We'd love to know what you think. Or drop us a line at the deepdivepodcast@gmail.com or on our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter feeds. You can find links to those in our awesome t-shirt store in the bio of our Instagram page. All clips used in this podcast are meant for educational purposes only and not to infringe on existing copyrights. The Deep Dive Microcast is part of the Deep Dive Podcast family and a production of Automaton Studios.